What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am so excited to bring you guys the last video in this year's Heritage Month series. This year, I have taken the time every month that the United States has designated a month a specific heritage theme. I've gone ahead and searched on the web to find a brand that I've either already purchased from, or I was interested in, or I've heard about to showcase on my channel. And this month I've really taken the time to feature Prados Beauty. I do believe it is beauty. I've heard this brand talked about multiple times before. I've talked about them in my new makeup releases, and I've said, you know, this is cute, maybe not perfect for me. I would love to hear if anybody tried it, and I decided this month that I was going to try it because, quite honestly, it's the only kind of known brand that I've heard that is Native American owned or Indigenous owned. And so I wanted to go ahead and take that plunge. And if you're interested in hearing about these products, how I like them, how they applied, all that stuff, let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I was very interested by this brand, and I always typically start my search when I'm doing these videos that I've been doing now for a whole 11 months. I type on the Google Heritage Month blank, whatever the Heritage Month makeup brands or beauty brands, and then from there I kind of really comb through the list. I find that sometimes these lists has brands that I've literally never heard of, never seen, and I won't sit here and say that these brands are not legitimate or aren't ones that are safe to put your money towards, but I'm really trying to do better at like putting my money towards brands that I know I've heard of, or I've heard other people reference or even purchase and showcase on their channels. So Prados is a brand that I have distinctly talked about, and I distinctly remember talking about the brand in quite a few new makeup releases. And so I picked up a couple of different things, and we'll just run through them very quickly, and then we'll jump into the actual meat and potatoes. And the only reason I'm honestly doing this is because the video isn't all that long. I didn't get too many products, mainly because I've talked about this in quite a few videos now, but like I feel like I just didn't need it. And so we're just going to choose the small couple of items to kind of get an overall vibe of the brand. So first things first, in my hand is the eyeshadow palette packaging. I will say this packaging isn't anything to really write home about in the sense of comparing it to some other indie brands like an Odin's Eye, right? Odin's Eye, you're going to have that like shimmery reflective packaging embossed into the kind of 3D packaging that this palette has. But at the end of the day, I like the authenticity I feel from the brand in, you know, presenting their culture to potentially people who have never even considered the culture or never been taught the culture in education. Because let's be honest, American education systems in some states can be really, they can leave a little bit to be desired. But anyways, we're gonna get off of that. I decided to pick up the Grotto palette. I do apologize. Any words that I butcher, I'm trying to do my best. I apologize. But this is the eyeshadow palette. There's a 12-month shelf life. It is vegan friendly, so potentially some products in there that won't be completely vegan. It is cruelty free, and of course they have the recycling image, and of course all of their social media, which you can follow them on Prados Beauty on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So let's showcase the inside of the palette. The front is the exact same thing, and the packaging on the back is pretty much the exact same thing. So feel free to go ahead and chuck that palette. On the top, there is no mirror, but it clearly says proudly Indigenous, unapologetically beautiful. I love that. And of course the symbol of the bird, depending on the indigenous culture, that is actually a very, very sacred symbol. So I really love that. And these colors, very, very basic, nothing out there, nothing really kind of new and groundbreaking, but I really wanted to try this brand. And if we were looking at their kind of catalog, this was the one color scheme that I thought I would get some use out of outside of of just testing it out and reviewing it for you guys. There is a variety of mattes and shimmers. You go from light in the mattes to dark in the mattes, and of course light in the shimmers to dark in the shimmers. This just felt like the palette for me. Then we have the blush. The blush has the exact same packaging as the eyeshadow palette. It's just in a smaller version. And then on the back, of course, it is the information for the specific blush. It is, of course, cruelty-free, 12-month shelf life, and the product is recyclable as well. I have the shade No Pos Wow blush. It is, of course, the blush and, of course, the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing today. And this is it right here. Very bright, very beautifully bold. I will be doing a swatch in the video, so I'm not going to go ahead and do another swatch. And there's the same imaging on top talking about how they are proudly indigenous. Loving the cohesiveness of all of the packaging. The last kind of cohesive packaging that I picked up was this, and this is their lipstick. It is a liquid lipstick, which I don't really get a lot of use out of, but it was the only color that I thought I would get use out of. And once again, you get that proudly indigenous on the side, you get some symbols of birds, and then you get the information of the actual product. Once again, cruelty-free, 12-month shelf life, and of course, recycling packaging. And very, very basic component, nothing really crazy. Of course, you get the image once again of that bird on the top, but you know, sometimes the very, very basic, compact and imaging is exactly what you need. From what I could tell, these three are all in the kind of typical line, the traditional hard line. And then I picked up one product specifically from a collaboration that they did with, I don't know if it's an influencer or who. Their name is Lauren Goodday, and they did a collaboration with them. And Lauren Goodday is a multi-award winning Arcara Hidashita Blackfeet and plain Cree artist and sought after fashion designer. Her hard work has been shown at the world's most prestigious Native American juried art shows and has been part of numerous solo and group exhibitions at galleries and museums across the country. The Prados Beauty and Lauren Goodday collaboration features a limited edition collection of makeup products showcasing Lauren's art and traditional Native American ledger art designs. This collaboration is a celebration of Native American and Indigenous people on Indigenous Peoples Day, as it celebrates and honors Indigenous beauty and culture. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I would assume that this is Lauren Goodday and she looks beautiful. I would assume that this is literally her artwork right here. And if I can find some artwork from her online, I will definitely have it scrolling. So I did pick up literally a pair of lashes. It was the pair that like looked like I would actually enjoy it, and this is in the style tradish. I don't know why I'm having such difficulties right now. They are the style that I'm wearing today, and the brand did actually go ahead and throw in another pair of lashes, and this is in the style Gunkel, I want to say. Very, very bold lashes. So excited to show you guys all of these products in action. I'm so happy to have been able to afford to showcase these products from this brand. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns about any of the packaging, anything like that, go ahead and shout it down below. But with that said, let's just go ahead and get into the tutorial part of the video where I show you guys me applying all of this onto my face. Hey guys, so I did just go ahead and start my base routine just because of the simple fact that I don't have all of the items for this month's heritage video, but I did go ahead, as I said in the beginning, and pick up quite a few items. So let's just dive on in. So I think since we're far away, I did already do my brows, all of that, and this is, I'm trying to remember what this product is. I bought these things kind of, oh, this is a lipstick. Okay, so perfect. I have a liquid lipstick, I believe, and this is in the shade Dusk. So let me go ahead and swatch it for you guys. So this is the shade Dusk. Beautiful shade, actually. Really beautiful shade. I like that it's a smaller kind of compact. I feel like, you know, if I'm really getting into liquid lipsticks, this would be the amount of product that I actually need. Let me see if I can find my lip liner from Makeup Forever, because that's my go-to right now. So let's go ahead and stick with that. I did a pretty simple line right around the outside of my lips. I didn't want to do too much crazy like lip lining, especially because this looks nice and opaque. So we're gonna go ahead and take this and try this on my lips. This looks very, very red on my skin tone. Once again, this is in the shade Dusk. The formula, it feels light, nice and light and thin. It doesn't feel sticky at all. I'm not hating the formula. I'm not hating the formula. Now, I do believe I picked up a blush. I did. So let me unpack this. I'm going to take this Wayne Goss brush. This is in the shade No Pos Wow blush, I do believe. I'm going to swatch it really quickly so that you guys can see. Very pigmented. It does look to be quite matte, but not like a dry, suffocating matte. So I think this could be something that I enjoy. I do have only powder bronzer on. I did not put cream bronzer on today. And yeah, I didn't do a very kind of super impactful application. Let's see how this applies. So it definitely does stick. So if you're somebody who does not set your face, I would definitely say build this product up. I definitely think that this blush sticks. Not too bad. Like in person, it's not as kind of apparent on the skin as it is on camera, but that's like something that like I tend to really get used to. I like that. It's light, especially in person, but it's really giving on camera. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this again on this eye. I'm of course gonna put a little bit of blush on my nose, of course, and we're gonna do a nice little blend, hopefully. And then I'll zoom in so we can do the eyes, because I don't have a highlighter. Maybe I'll find a shade on the eyeshadow palette that I can use as a highlighter. So I'm not going to necessarily put a highlighter on just yet. Okay, so it took some effort, but I'm finally able to get into the Sagrado, I'm sorry, eyeshadow palette. At least theoretically, the palette still is not out of the packaging. Okay. There we go. This is a beautiful, I love the purple and orange color scheme. Oh no. Two of my shades are shattered, which is very, very sad. I'm gonna go ahead and push those in. So this is what the palette is looking like now that I've pushed in those two shadows. Very, very neutral. We're not going to even pretend to kind of debate that. This is neutral. Did I need this in my collection? No. But I love doing this series. You guys seem to really enjoy me shopping around, looking for brands that kind of associate with these particular heritage months, and I couldn't really find a lot that specifically were Native American. This brand is proudly Indigenous, and I've heard of the brand, so I wanted to give it a try. I did. I really hope that this brand works out for me. I think I'm gonna just do, am I gonna do both eyes on camera? Let's prime both eyes. I can always reprime my right eye if I don't actually end up, you know, using it or kind of completing it on camera. We're still using semi-dirty brushes, so prepare for that. But to really kind of start the ball rolling and kind of really honing in on this very bright kind of orangey eye, I think I'm gonna go into this shade right here. There are unfortunately no shade names, so I can't really tell you guys the shade, but hopefully if you have this palette and you're you know, kind of going along with it, you saw, but also just shop your stash. Shop your stash. That is definitely something that can and should be done if this palette isn't screaming something very, very unique. Honestly, let me zoom in even closer. It looks like I picked the perfect shade to go in that crease. It looks exactly like my blush shade. It literally looks like I'm using the same exact shade. So not mad at that. I am going to switch brushes, but just for, you know, argument's sake, because I don't actually have the brush chosen right now, I think I'm gonna try to use this shade right here. Oop, this shade right here. It looks dark. It looks like it could be pulled both warm and cool. I don't really know until I get it on my eye, which is the danger, but we're gonna try. We are going to try, and I need to find a good brush. This is the ColourPop E9. Just using my Sephora, you know, immediate clean spray. That thing is a lifesaver. Complete lifesaver, because I'm almost never cleaning my brushes. And then we're gonna deepen out this outer V and see how it all goes together. There is some kick up in the pan. Does not bother me at all, but in case it does bother you, I do just want to let you know. But these shades are very pigmented in the best possible way, and they feel very blendable as well. I'm really like, come on, focus, please. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but I'm really loving the build of this. It's not groundbreaking. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's groundbreaking, but I'm loving the combination. I'm loving the pigmentation, and of course, what? The blendability. We are going to go ahead and try a shimmer. I'm going to try a shimmer that was not trampled on for just argument's sake. And I think, are we going to try something different for me? Let's try something different. I almost never go for like a gold kind of shimmer situation. Let's try it. I'm going to try to apply that on the lid. Since I still don't have nails on right now, we're going to just use my finger and see how it goes. Okay. This is definitely a cooler blue. You can definitely see that, like, or a cooler black. It is definitely has that cool kind of undertone to it. So I'm gonna definitely adjust this. This is not the best decision for this eye look. Okay, I really need to brighten up that inner corner. And I also need to kind of make this a little bit more orangey. So I'm going to throw this kind of orange shade in the inner half of my lid. Not in my inner corner. I know this is going to be a bit kind of convoluted, but I really just need to bring some more warmth back into this eye look as best as I can. And honestly, I might just throw that all over just to bring a good amount of warmth to that. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, I'm not Loving this, and that's honestly, it's just my fault. Had I taken the time to swatch the palette, I would have known that that black was so blue based and so cool tone, it just would not have worked with this palette. And I was reaching towards potentially doing that orange, but I kind of wanted to step out the box. I did not like stepping out of the box. So we're going to reach for something that's going to have a little bit more opacity that I think will kind of cover up my personal error. And then we're going to proceed with that palette. Because I definitely think that, like, yes, there's shimmers, but I think there's merit to the shimmers. But let me see which shade. We're going to go with this shade. So I have the Victoria Beckham Tea Rose shade. If you did not know, the brand is actually currently 20% off, I want to say. I don't know if they'll be 20% off, honestly, when this video goes up. And, you know, if you're not really checking for them, I would not recommend, you know, really running for the brand. But I definitely think that the brand can bring a luxury aesthetic and vibe that, you know, some brands may not give, and for an affordable price for whatever you take that. But yeah, I definitely prefer that. It definitely looks to me a lot warmer on this eye than the previous eye. The whole thing is messed up because of me. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I shouldn't have used that black with how blue based it was. So yeah, once again, I used the shade Victoria Beckham. I only used it because it was literally right here, because I was contemplating if I personally needed an additional shade in my collection. I'm going to kind of try to rectify this, just going over and kind of reinforcing the shades that I had used mattes wise prior to that black. And once again, nothing wrong with that shimmery black. It just did not work with the look that I was going for. It just did not work at all. And hopefully this does. I do have a little bit of fallout, but at this point I've had like 4 layers on my lid, so you know, that's my fault. That's not the right brush, is it? No. What brush did I use for my under eyes today? I think this is the brush. I don't know. This is just completely on me. That's completely on me. Okay. We're going to go back into the Prados. How do you say the brand? I'm sure I've already messed it up multiple times, but we're going to try to bring this baby together. We're going to use this beautiful, warm, like shimmery pink shade, and we're going to try to bring as much warmth as I can via the inner corner, just to really, like I said, bring this together. I think that had I not been a genius, once again, it wouldn't have been so hard, and I wouldn't even need to use the Victoria Beckham. But because I was a genius, this is where we're at. Okay, I'm looking a little crazy. I will admit, wholeheartedly, I'm looking a little crazy, but that is because I do not have any eyeliner on, no mascara, no lashes. So give me a second. I'm going to do my liner, mascara. I will come back to do the lashes because I did get 2 pairs from the brand, and very excited because they're looking very va-va-voom. I look a tinge bit different. I did go ahead and add a gloss. I honestly just have the glosses out the wazoo that I really want to try. This is a YSL Candy Glaze. This is in the shade 14. These are apparently 40% off. I think if you buy one and get one 40% off, I don't really know. Do with that information as you will. The mascara today is actually also new. I had picked up the Half Magic and I got it in black, so I figured let's go ahead and try it. I think that it's fine. I wouldn't say that this is the most lengthening mascara I've tried. I only did one coat. I only do one coat when I'm putting on lashes. Now, for the lashes, I'm going to tell you this, and I really need you guys to hear me now. Do not underestimate the dramatics, the drama, the va-va-voom that the Prados lashes provide. So these looked very, very like Basic Betty online. These look very, very intimidating in person. So intimidating. And I don't know why, but these were also in my cart. These are too big. These are on a level that like I don't have the confidence. I can't even pretend. So I'm gonna try these. I believe this is the pair that I actually paid for, and the other pair they just kind of threw in. This is in the style tradish, I do believe, and that's all the naming on it. So I'm gonna go with that being the name. And yeah, these still look kind of out there for me and kind of where I have settled when it comes to the drama that I kind of can stomach wearing on my lashes. But you know, it's fine. We'll trim them a little here, a little there, a little everywhere. If I can get the plastic off. There you go. Yeah, these are definitely, I love the wispiness of them. I love the what is it called? Clusters of lashes. I love everything about them. They're just quite dramatic for personally me and where I'm at. I definitely would have gone for something a little bit less dramatic had I known. So I definitely need to go ahead and trim these, get these glued on, and then once I'm done that, we're done with the makeup look. So I will come back to kind of talk to you guys about the products that I picked up from Prados. I don't know why I keep feeling like I'm saying the name wrong. I probably am, but like I usually don't stutter as bad as I am right now. So let me get these on. I gotta find my scissors. I really hope they're somewhere nearby. Yes, they are. Haha. Oh no. I found my scissors. They're just on the ground now. Let me get my lashes on, and then I'll come back to kind of give you my current thoughts on all of these items. I feel like the review portion is going to be kind of good. Don't you think? I'll be right back in just a second. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. Okay, so not too many products that I actually picked up from the brand. I really only picked up 4 products, but mainly this was like a good selection of what the brand had. I forgot to do a highlighter. I told myself I forgot to do it, and then I still continued to go on this video without doing anything. I'm just gonna take this brush. I'm gonna go into the one that shattered. It was like a bronzy type shade, and we're just gonna, ooh. Okay. All right. I don't know how good that's gonna look on camera and like in pictures, but it's definitely picking up some sheen. It's definitely giving me the highlight effect. Whether it's the type of effect that I want, the world may never know. I don't think it's showing to, I literally just threw that. I have no defense. None. Let me pull this out real quick. Okay, so I feel like I was a bit all over the place per usual, but let's get into the actual products that I picked up and of course applied on camera with you guys. As for the liquid lipstick, it felt really, really nice. It did not feel overly drying. It did not feel very heavy. It actually felt very weightless. I'm just so used to the concept and the the look of a glossy lip that I just threw a glossy lip on top. There was no issues from what I tried thus far with this shade. And it even, I mean, it's pretty budge proof. It budges a little bit on my hand, but it's pretty budge resistant, at least will we say. So I'm very, very interested to see, like, longevity wise, how long I can get out of that particular product, if I'm even considering wearing it as a true liquid lipstick. But right now, the way that I use liquid lipstick is just for like some pigment under like a gloss or something. So this is really the kind of vibe, the aesthetic that I would really work with a lip product. It looked, at least online, that this was like the closest brownie-ish shade, but I mean, I could definitely be wrong. This is just looking on the pictures, looking on the swatches, stuff like that. So definitely like the color and the formula so far. I wish it was a little bit more of my type of brown, but not hating it at all. This, I'm so happy I picked up this shade. I believe there were 3 shades, I want to say, in this kind of collection. They have a variety of different collections, and because I'm not super familiar with this brand, I was feeling like I was a little kind of uneven footed going onto their website personally. Just when I like to go and shop on a brand's website based on shop all, I don't really like to go by collection. I know that makes more sense so that you understand what's going on, but I like to see everything so I can kind of see the colors, the formulations, all of that is available for this brand. And so this color just screamed to me. It felt like something I had to get, and I'm so happy I got this. I think it looks absolutely beautiful on my skin tone. It really does not only build up in color pigment, although I feel like it's very pigmented, as you guys saw. I feel as though the actual formula, it's a skin-like version of a matte. I don't want to say it's a full-on matte. I don't want to say it's a full-on skin-like. I definitely feel like it's closer to a matte than like a skin-like finish, but there's some breathing room to it. There's some life to this matte that just really works, especially when we're really going into what I look for in like a face product, especially like just in an application in general, especially when I'm trying to be a lot more critical on like what I'm bringing in. This is a formula that I definitely could get down with, even with the more powder finish, especially like if I'm topping this off with like a favorite cream blush. I did not wear a cream blush under today, just so that you guys could see the true pigmentation. And if you did not catch it, I only have powder bronzer on, and the powder bronzer that I use is my normal. It is my House Labs, and I just used it to set that area, like that zone. So I did not use my powder like for my actual face in that zone at all. So it's really minimal kind of base, so I could really see the color of that blush. And I think this blush is really doing great. I think it could even be better when I have my kind of more traditional or normal routine when it comes to base kind of cheek products overall. As for the eyeshadow palette, I am slightly disappointed that, of course, 2 shades showed up broken. But I mean, that's not on the brand. That's definitely just one of those things that can happen when you have product shipped in. But what I will say is that the shades that I use, I'm actually really happy. Specifically with the match. You guys know me. When it comes to my heart, when it comes to, of course, eyeshadow palettes and just eyeshadow formulations in general, you really got to catch me with those mattes. These mattes are extremely pigmented, beautifully blendable, and just great. I mean, I was able to easily blend the 2 crease colors without any fuss, without any issue at all. I will say the shimmers in here are literally shimmers. So if you're looking for something that is going to be a little bit of sparkly, a little bit of kind of foily, I don't really see that in the palette, especially when I'm looking at it in person. I do see this shade, and now that I'm looking at it, the palette is technically named. You use the like letters and the numbers. So R2, this shade right here, it's like a matte with glitter. I obviously did not use it today, so I don't know if that shimmer really shows up on the eye, but what I will say is the more traditional kind of shimmers are truly just shimmers. There's nothing truly impressive with them, but it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for an everyday eyeshadow palette and you want to support an indigenous owned brand or a Native American owned brand, I definitely think that the formula in this is great and can easily be something that you reach for every day. I love, like I said, the pigmentation level, the blendability, and I love the depth. I feel like this is really getting nice and deep. You really get some light shades here. So if you're somebody who likes to do a matte light shade, you also have some kind of shimmery light shades, but you also have a variety of matte and shimmery deep shades. So honestly, so far I'm really enjoying this palette. Is this the most kind of over the top packaging? No, but I don't think the brand really strives to be that. I think they just strive to be a truly indigenous owned brand that brings their culture to a wider audience. And I truly think that even just looking at the detail in the packaging right here, it does that for me. So I'm not hating this at all. And then lastly, of course, is the lashes. And I will say, I really felt very intimidated looking at the lashes in the packaging, but I chopped off just a cluster off of each, and I will say, one, they fit my eyes, and that's typically the amount of clustering that I really will snip off of my eyelashes, but these don't feel very heavy, which I truly appreciate. In the grand scheme of things, when we're looking at long-term usage of shadows or of lashes, if the lashes are heavy, I'm just not reaching for them. You won't catch me looking for them at all. And these are very lightweight, like very lightweight. I really like these. Like I said, these are from the Lauren Good Day range, and these are in the shade, or the shade, this is the second time I've said that, these are in the style Tradish. I really like these, which is making me really consider giving these puppies a go. I feel like they won't be as intimidating once I get them on, but yeah, so far, honestly, I like all the products that I tried specifically from this brand. Like I said, I did try a couple of other kind of new products, and those will be discussed in a roundup once I got my final thoughts, or potentially in another trying new makeup that's not specifically about, a Heritage Month video. But I'm really happy that I did go ahead and do this for, of course, the month of November. And this is the last month. There is no Heritage Month specifically in the US for December. So I completed a full year of Heritage Month videos, and from the last month, it seemed like you guys really were interested in seeing me do this more in potentially next year, and we'll see. I think I am going to try my best to do these videos, but in a different twist and different way, and I'm excited. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.